Good morning. Good morning. I see Georgia is here. Beautiful morning in Northeast Mississippi. It is raining here, but it's okay. We'll survive. I'm just going to make sure all this tech is working. Good morning. I think it is. Let me know that you can hear me and see me. It's a weird screen right now. Let me, nope. Here we go. Okay, dreary day in central New York. Here too. It's been raining like what feels like every day for the past 100 days. It's been about like 5 days of rain. Okay, so I want to give everybody just a second to join, but we're going to get started here on day one. If anybody hops on late, you can, of course, rewind and watch from the beginning, but I don't want to waste any time as we get going. So, I'm sorry about my voice. Oh, I haven't done this in a while. I'm super excited. This is the Digital Declutter Workshop. We've got 3 workshops in 3 days that are going to really help us get going and moving with organizing all of our files. So today, or what to expect, today I'm live, obviously. Tomorrow I will be uploading a pre-recorded video, but I'll try to find a different time to hop on live for anybody to get any questions in. And then Wednesday will be live again at the same time, 10 a.m. Central for this specific workshop. And we'll be on here. I won't be live for that long, but you will want to set aside a few minutes to actually make some progress on the topics of the day. So today we're going to do more of an audit and an initial cleanup. So as we're going through, we are probably looking at a lot of different types of files. It might be SVGs, PNGs, JPEGs, fonts, which are actually OTF or TTF files, PDFs, or maybe even Adobe Illustrator. I'm going to actually press this present button and see what happens. I want to see if my face is still here or not. I can't remember what's going to happen. So anyway, it's important to know the types of files that you have because they really do serve different purposes. An SVG really is if you're going to use it to cut on your silhouette or your Cricut. A PNG or a JPEG is just really just an image. A lot of those we would print for Tumblr decals. We might print for sublimation. We might kind of piece it together for that. You have all of your fonts. I don't know about you, but I have a lot. I'm curious if you have a lot too. Let me know in the chat. And you might accumulate some PDF files, although it's a little bit more, it's not quite as common for crafting unless you're getting like patterns or things like maybe you like to sew or crochet and you got some patterns piling up. And I have AI, which is just Adobe Illustrator. If you're creating your own files, if you're creating your own SVGs, those might be in Adobe Illustrator or Inkscape or Silhouette Studio, right? It's just good to know the kind of files that we have. So I want you right now to write down, and you could actually tell me where your files are. Like, where do they live currently? It might be on your desktop. It might be in your documents. It might be in your downloads folder. You might have them in Google Drive or Dropbox or an external hard drive. I'm curious. Let me know where currently your files are living because we can't clean them up if we don't know where they are. Most of mine, I have an external hard drive, but I have a few things in Google Drive. And then I have a lot of things that I need to organize that are still in my downloads folder that I never actually moved over. Okay, so it looks like external drive, hard drive, tablet. Okay, so in order to really get organized, actually make progress on this, we really need a central location. You really need a place to put all of your files. And it's not like it's okay if they're all in different places while you're using them. But Oh, I'm also seeing that maybe I'm cutting off half of my presentation with this, with my face in the corner. So let me fix that. So let's talk about storage options. I'm going to move myself over just a little bit. You can keep it local on your computer. So whether that's your computer, your tablet, it can live on the hard drive on your computer. It's always accessible, which is great. But you're putting yourself at risk for one, having too many files, too many things on your computer will slow it down. Depending on the computer you have, depending on the storage and memory on the actual hard drive, it's not always the best long-term solution, because also if something happens to your computer, you don't have them backed up anywhere. You can use something like Google and Dropbox. These are still on your computer, technically. You can access them on your computer if you have, like right here, I have my Google Drive linked right in my like Finder, and I've got a bunch of stuff that I can access from my computer. But what I like about it is that it can actually sync to the cloud. So even if something happens to your computer, you wouldn't lose all of your files. You do have to, keep in mind how much storage you have on there. Usually it's fine, especially if you pay for something like storage for Google Photos, which I do because I have 90,000 photos of my children. And another really, really good thing to have to use if you're feeling like you have too many things for Google Drive, you have too many things for your local computer, you can get an external drive. It doesn't take up space on your computer. You'll plug it in to your computer and all of your files will actually just live on the external drive. It is something I recommend to everybody to eventually put things on your external drive. And I just want to give you a few tips if you don't have a drive or you're looking to get one, or maybe yours is kind of like old, not a lot of space. I just want to run through some things to keep in mind. If you get a hard drive, an external drive, you really want it to be an SSD drive, which is a solid state drive. That means it's the other option is basically a spinning hard drive where it actually spins. Those can break really easily if you drop them. They're not built to last. So, and they're slower. So you want to get a solid state drive. They're a lot more reasonable now. I put a QR code here if you're looking to buy an external drive. It's this one particular that I linked is the one I have. It is $79, and I'll tell you in 2020 I think I paid over $200 for it. So we're thankful that they're not as expensive as they once were. But you can get like a terabyte of storage. So just keep that in mind if you're looking to change your hard drive or buy one. You really want it to be a solid state drive. Okay, let me just check the comments. Documents, desktop, mostly downloads, everything in my hard drive. We want to move it to external. Oh yes, well you can use OneDrive. I also have a little space on OneDrive. If you're paying like for Office 365, for like Microsoft Word, Excel, or whatever, you probably have access to your OneDrive. I will say I just feel like those fill up really quick, so that's why I kind of like to balance. I have an external drive that I use for my stuff, but I do like we can talk about it another time. There are different programs to back things up from external drives as well. So we need to figure out where you want your files to live. If you want them to live on your external drive, if you want them to live on your desktop, whatever you want. We can change our mind later, by the way. But right now I need you to decide where you're going to create a folder. I am going to create a folder. I'm going to do it on my Mac. That doesn't actually have any of my files, but oops. I'm going to go in my documents here. I can show you what my actual setup looks like, but I want you to decide on a place, and I want you right now to create a folder. So on your Mac, if you have a Mac, you're going to go to these three dots, hit new folder, and I want you to make a crafting folder. If you're on a PC, wherever you want them to be, I have an external drive. Hold on, it's taking a second to load. Oh, not responding. Great. So like here I have some random files on my desktop, but if you are on your PC, I have my external drive with a crafting folder here. So I want you right now, right this moment, hopefully you have your computer, tablet, whatever you're working with, I want you to create a crafting folder. And then we're gonna create 2 subfolders for now. We're gonna add to this even a little bit more today or tomorrow. We're gonna add more of our subfolders, but right now, what I want you to start with is a folder for fonts. Oops, I'm gonna drag this, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna drag this into my crafting folder so it's inside there. And then I'm gonna make one that is called designs. So I don't know if there's a faster way on a Mac. I'm new I haven't had a Mac computer in a really long time. So we've got one main folder that says crafting and one that says designs and fonts. Again, we're gonna change through, we're gonna brainstorm what exactly your folder should be, but this is a good starting point. If you're on a PC, you're just going to go into your crafting folder. I like to right click and say new folder, and then you can do fonts and designs. You can see I have other folders in here as well. So is everybody doing that? Let me know when you've done that. And then we'll keep going. So you can always right click and add folders. I'm gonna show you how to move things from folder to folder. You can always delete folders later. You can rename them. If you ever wanna rename a folder, you just kind of like click on the words just like once, and then you can change it. Maybe you wanna change this to SVGs. Maybe you wanna change it to something else. But we'll get more into what your actual structure should look like. So I'll tell you, this is my downloads folder. This is where like things go to die. So like these, I've got stuff in here at this point from like 2022. So I haven't been through my downloads folder in a really long time, which is not great. So I need to like put all of these things places, or I need to delete them, because if they're sitting here in my downloads folder, it's harder to find. I haven't like renamed any of the files, and we just don't want them to live there. So maybe you're like me, maybe things are just kind of scattered around, but once I like, download from Creative Fabrica, download from Etsy, it goes to my downloads folder. And then I sometimes just don't take that extra step to move it over, but that's something we got to get better at. That's the whole point. So the first thing we need to do is start moving and deleting files. So starting with your downloads and things on your desktop, that's what we're going to start with. That's going to be our first move. We're going to start moving and deleting files from where they are to the new folder we just created. So for example, I'm looking through my downloads, and this would be where I start. Let me see if I can get this to zoom in a little bit. View. It's a little small. Maybe I'll go with these like medium icons. So today, like I downloaded the images for some of the workshop stuff. I don't need those anymore. They live in Canva, and I don't need them, in my downloads folder. I downloaded this is some images. So this is something I got on Etsy that's like a bunch of Hello Kitty stuff. I don't want to lose that, so I'm going to move it into my design folder. So again, we're starting with what we did already. So if you're hopped on late, we've made a crafting folder. Like I made mine in my documents. We can move this later, but I made a crafting folder, and inside that folder, I have a designs folder and a fonts folder. And now we're going to start moving things here. I'm personally starting with my downloads because that's what I haven't really touched, and I wanted to leave it for you guys so I could show you. But you want to start with a folder And then you can go back and see where you want that folder to live, which is going to be like Google, external, whatever. So I want this Hello Kitty folder to live in my designs folder. So I'm going to, you can either go Command C or Control C. I like to cut and paste. I don't know how to cut on a Mac, but if you right click and press cut, it means it's going to take it out of my downloads folder. And I'm going to move it into my crafting folder. And mine is labeled graphics, so I'm going to put it there. But yours, right now, we just labeled it designs. So you're going to cut and paste and start moving things where they need to be. If they're designs or cut files or whatever, we're just moving them all into that folder. So let me show you. I want you to take a few minutes to do that, okay? So choose whether you're going to take some from your desktop, from your downloads, and move them into your folder. So I can also delete quite a few of these. Like, look at how, this is so many. This is really overwhelming. So I like a list view. I'm really sorry if it's hard for you guys to see, but I got to have this list view. So I downloaded this like Instagram template, and I know I don't need that anymore. So I am going to delete that. I just moved, and then something else to consider is that this is a zip folder, but I just moved the other folder, so that means I don't need both of these. So I'm going to delete this as well. So I want you to go through and start moving some of your files into your fonts folder or your designs folder, and then we're going to actually continue once we get that done. At least we're going to continue to organize those subfolders. So one thing about the fonts is that, like, here's one right here. The original folder I downloaded is this compressed folder. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Hang on. Nope. So right here, I have the zip folder, right? It says zip right here. This is the original folder that I downloaded. I extracted it to get the actual file. So now right here, I have an open type file and a true type file. Both of those work. I honestly don't know I don't really know the difference, but they're both font folders or font files. So, but you only need one of them. So I always say my open type files. So if I were to cut and paste, I'm going to take this one specific font file, just one, go into my fonts folder and paste it. So you can see I have all of the original files for all of my fonts in one specific folder. It's a lot of fonts. So if you extract the folder after you download a font, let's go see if we can just do one so I can show you. This, like here, this font, if I were to, I like to extract it to its own folder. I already did that, but I'll do it again. And then I gotta find it. See, this is what we're trying to avoid, right? Now I'm already wasting time. So here's this font that is the Sporty T family that I downloaded to put names on the back of soccer jerseys. You can copy, like this one has like a lot of different fonts because it's got like the outline, it's got the hollow, it's got the distressed, it's got the condensed, everything. You would copy or cut and paste all of these files into your fonts folder. So another thing I like to do is I'll keep one thing open. I'll open two windows. Make it go a little faster. So I've got my downloads on one side and my crafting folder on the other. So now I can just paste in all of the fonts. So I just copy and pasted these Sporty T fonts. So now I can delete the folder. We don't need to keep all of the downloads. We just need to keep one file somewhere. So let me know what you guys are working on. I'm gonna give you a couple minutes to do that. At least get started moving some of your files. Again, remember, you created a brand new crafting folder. This is gonna be like the start for our organization. So in your crafting folder, you have 2 subfolders, designs and fonts. Again, we're gonna revisit kind of the folders and things that we have later, but right now we're just gonna kind of categorize things. And as you're moving things, you can categorize them as well. But I just want you to take a few minutes to make some progress here. If you're going through and you're looking like, you know what, I don't think I really need this anymore. Like I downloaded this Hello Kitty stuff. I'm not gonna use it, so I'm just gonna delete it. I download a lot of fonts that I don't ever end up actually liking. So I'm not going to keep it if I'm just not gonna like it. Gussie, do you have all the fonts together or ones with commercial rights? Well, I only get fonts with commercial rights now, just because I don't want to have to keep track of that. So if I only get them like from Creative Fabrica where so I know I can use them and sell them or sell things with them on it. So you could also add inside your fonts folder, you could add, commercial versus non-commercial if you want. Mary Lou has moved from downloads onto documents. See, look at that. You already got so much done. So yeah, if you do have commercial rights and non-commercial rights, I would, up here, add a folder inside here that is commercial and then maybe like personal use only or something like that. And you can put those in your font folders. And if you, I don't usually download like any of the documents that would say that I have that, but you could, if you wanted to, if that's something you want to do, you could also add a folder of you could add it inside the commercial use that says, documentation if you want. So that's how I would set up a fonts folder in that scenario. Okay, are there any questions? I'm going to give you guys a couple more minutes to start moving things, and then we're going to move on to the next topic. I should probably keep going on some of my downloads. And I usually cut and paste and not copy paste, so I don't have to go back and actually delete it. It deletes it when you cut and paste it. But it's up to you. If you want to copy and paste and then go back and delete that original file, you can. If you have a bunch of folders, we're going to talk a lot more about fonts on day 3. So on Wednesday. So if you want to just move things at least to one central location, I just keep, like I said, I have some of the folders in here. But really, normally I would just, actually these are empty. I would take the file out of it and paste it into just one folder. And I do that because things have changed a lot. It's a lot easier to mass install fonts now than it once was. You used to have to open every single file. If you got a new computer, you'd have to open every single file and install them individually. But now it's a lot easier. But if you have them all here, you can basically, if you got a new computer, you could select all of your fonts and install them all at one time. So that's why I keep them in a folder like this. So here for me, these are some designs that I actually think I do want to keep. So I'm going to cut and paste them. These are some designs, and I don't think I really have a folder for these. Well, they're sublimation, so I have a sublimation folder, and I have a tumbler wrap folder. So that's what those are. So as you are moving things, I want you to keep in mind like the types of things that you are doing. Do you merge all of your files? For example, all of my files in Zindy. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that, Yessie, here in a second, okay? So before we get into that, I want to talk about renaming your files. So this is super helpful. As we're moving, cutting, and pasting, we can also rename them, or we can go back and do that another time. But whether you're on a Mac or a PC, you can search your computer for files. So if you name it what it is, it's a lot easier to find. And this mostly is helpful for, like the cut files, the PNGs, the things that you want. So like this folder here is watercolor cocktails. That I have right here. I know that is what it's called. When I'm looking for those watercolor cocktails, you can search on your computer. If you start typing it in, you've got watercolor cocktails right here, and I can open the folder. Does that make sense? So like having it named something that's actually helpful is always good. Sometimes when fonts are a little different. This is more so for designs. Like this folder I just moved in here is like 0006 2023. Like I don't need that. That's not what I need the name to be. To me, it's Hello Kitty PNGs. That's what I used it for. So as you're moving things over, let's see if I can find some other, like these, I have so many files and so many old things that I won't really use, but I have something called like Let It Snow by Barton Market. Let It Snow is a good name. Sometimes you download things and it's not great. So if you're in your crafting folder, you can search like right up here, you see on the top right corner, it says search crafting. So if I say, oh, I did a St. Patrick's Day something. So I'm going to search St. Patrick's Day. So all of the files that say St. Patrick's Day are going to show up in my search. So it's helpful to name your files as you download them, as you organize them. So like here's a good one in my downloads this one is called, Adventure Awaits. So this is I've got a PNG and I've got an SVG. So if I open it, I downloaded this like from Creative Fabrica. So I would put both of these probably in a folder since it's a SVG and a PNG of the same file. You would put it into its own folder. Does that make sense? So I might be in my graphics or designs, and I might do a new folder called Adventure Awaits. So eventually I can search because I know that's what I made it, or I download it and I know that's what it says. So as you're going through, there's no like right or wrong way to do it, but I would include what the project is and sort of what you think you would search for to find that file. You might include like holiday, Christmas, like what it is. You don't have to like, it doesn't have to be like, it's not that serious is what I'm trying to say. Just name it whatever, include what it's about, because it really helps to save time if you can actually just search for the file. Okay, are there any questions before I talk a little bit about the subfolders? We're going to focus a lot on that tomorrow. Today, I really just want us to delete unnecessary files and move all of your files into your crafting folder, and then we'll go from there. So at least they're all in one spot. We can feel pretty good about that. Georgia is finding fonts in files she never extracted. See, it's like Christmas morning. We're finding new things. And hope maybe you'll find some files and be like, oh my gosh, yeah, I totally wanted to use that. And that'll spark some creativity and excitement to make something new. I'm going to talk more about the subfolders tomorrow, but I can give you a little overview of what mine look like. I personally, here's my crafting folder. I've got backgrounds and patterns. I have a lot of digital paper from, I don't know why. I made stickers before I made tumblers, and I did a lot of things. So I have sort of backgrounds and patterns in one folder. This is like a paper pack here, colorful glitter paper pack. So this is what that looks like for a background. Or like I got this peach watercolor background. I used these like for backgrounds of stickers. So I have backgrounds and patterns. These are like PNG files, like a seamless pattern. Not that I would ever, these aren't named the best, but they're all in my backgrounds and patterns, okay? I also have a silhouette cut files folder, which is I think probably what a lot of you guys will have is like specifically in your designs, you'll have a cut files. I have like a baby folder. I've got a Christmas folder. I've got magnets. I've got Halloween. And I also like to, I have a Zindi folder as well. Because anytime you buy a keychain or an acrylic blank, it's going to give you whatever. So I have all of those in a Zindi file. All of my other ones are pretty much in my sublimation folder because like I have a graphics folder. So I've got like Bear Trends designs. I get a lot from them. I get a lot from Brave Danger designs, and I get a lot from North 80. In my brain, I like remember where I got them from, if that makes sense. I think it's not like you have to have a folder for each of the place you buy things from, but I remember what I buy based on where I got it from. If you are going to remember more like look, I've got like this one says like, patriotic leopard, a USA thing. So you might have like a USA 4th of July Independence Day folder that you would want to put that in. It just kind of really depends on your brain. All right. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. And basically what I want you to do today is continue. Sorry, I'm looking for my slides. I'm having trouble. Oh, it's right here. Okay. I'm technically working on 2 different computers, if you will. I'm on my laptop to actually stream this and do my slides, but then I'm logged into my computer downstairs that actually has all of my crafting file. So let me know if you have any questions. Today, I want you to go through all of your file locations. I want you to go through your desktop. I want you to go through your downloads. I want you to go through your documents. And I want everything to get into one central location. And as you're working through that, I want you to delete things that you know you're not going to use. If you're not going to use it again, just delete it. It's not that big of a deal. Even if you paid for it, if you know you're never going to use it again, just delete it. If you don't like it anymore, if it's a project you don't need, you can delete it. I'm giving you permission, or just put it into a little folder and maybe you'll delete it another time when you're feeling more ready to do that. I want you to extract any of the files, any of the font files that you have in those places and move them into your font folders. Here, let's add that so you know. Extract font files and move to font folder. So we'll be prepared to actually learn a little bit more about previewing the fonts and stuff like that on Wednesday. And if the names of your files don't make any sense, please rename any files to describe what they are. All right? So that's kind of like our first step. As you're doing that, like tomorrow, we're going to focus on more like subfolders and things. I just gave you a preview of mine, but feel free, if you're like moving these all into one folder, it might be a little bit overwhelming. Feel free to make a couple folders to at least start organizing some of the things that you know have a place. Like if you have a bunch of cut files from Zindi, because you do a lot of acrylic blanks, make a Zindi folder. If you have a bunch of holiday, Christmas or whatever holiday you're doing for, if you have like a Thanksgiving, a Halloween, a Christmas, a Valentine's Day, you can start doing that as well. And then tomorrow, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into subfolders, organization, and really just getting all of the files where we need them to be. But we got to do this first. We gotta get everything kind of all brought together before we move on. Okay? Are there any other questions? Okay, I'm super happy that you guys hopped on live today, and feel free to comment or post in the group. I would love to see pictures of your new folders and how it looks so clean and nice, and it's gonna save you so much time. Tomorrow's video is gonna be pre-recorded. I don't have childcare like I thought I did, so I'm gonna record it right now and I'm gonna post it tomorrow. And then I'll hop on maybe or create a post for you guys to ask questions and stuff like that. Okay? I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for being here. I can't wait to see your new structure and how things go. I'm super excited. It's gonna just feel so, feel like some relief once you're like not overwhelmed with this. Trust me on that. I once heard that anytime you we make like however many decisions in a day. Let's say we make like 10,000 decisions in a day. And then every time we like pass by like a pile of clothes or things to put away, we're actually making a decision to like not do anything with that. So it just adds to our overwhelm of just day-to-day things like clutter in our house, clutter on our computers. Like every time you open your computer, you're like seeing all these files, you're actively like, I can't deal with that right now, but it's still like bothering you deep down, or bothering me or us as human beings. So I'm hoping that we get to that like really good place by the end of these 3 days. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow.